Good evening, everyone. We are back with a weather extra in the digital studio, I guess. Tonight, things are pretty quiet tonight. I hope everybody is enjoying their Monday evening. We have another quiet day on tap for tomorrow, and then things really start to change Wednesday morning. Overall, it's feeling a lot like December in the forecast as we have cooler temperatures and a storm system that's going to bring some snow, sleet, freezing rain, and some rain. Most of the area gets rain at the coastline. This will be our Wednesday storm, and even areas that get the frozen or freezing precipitation, it looks to be a pretty manageable storm there. This is not going to be a big weather event. There will be some slippery spots, though, and the greatest chance for getting maybe a half foot or more as far as snowfall goes will be in the mountains. Ski resorts will benefit from this sort of setup. And again, that will be on Wednesday. Let's waste no time and jump into it. I hope everyone, first of all, thanks for clicking on to Facebook Live this evening. I hope everybody's enjoying their Monday evening. Of course, the sun is going down so early now. It feels like the middle of the night, doesn't it? Here we are closer to 8 o'clock. I feel like it's been dark forever. Here's your time lapse from this is our Raymond Skycam. Notice a nice blue sky today. I don't know about you. I did a little work outdoors today. Hands got cold for the first time. Need some gloves today. It's a little windy out there. Lows tonight, they'll dip into the upper teens and low 20s. So we're not talking about any wind tonight. That wind drops off. In fact, that's going to aid in the cooler conditions. So lows tonight, teens and low 20s will do it. Things are quiet on the satellite radar. We have a mainly clear sky. Now our next storm is this guy off to our south. I was watching it back through the Four Corners region yesterday. It didn't really look like anything. But it's this one right here that's going to make some headway into our area on Wednesday. Again, no weather-related problems are expected tomorrow. Our next weather maker is this one that will bring an area of low pressure tracking through the Gulf of Maine, and that's going to keep some cold air in place. So we're probably going to see some snow, sleet, rain, and probably in that order for a lot of towns. Coastline gets still mainly rain out of this one. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., there's our area of low pressure down in the deep south. It's bringing some rain down through Alabama, Georgia, Carolinas. It arrives here probably between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Let's go with that. I think that's what I said earlier, 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. on Wednesday. And we're probably talking about just mainly rain at the coastline here. You may start with some wet snowflakes at the immediate coast, but inland towns, there we will see some accumulation of snow, I think. And the time frame for that is probably Wednesday morning. Even there, you'll change over to sleet and eventually some rain. What's happening here, the low pressure center is tracking close enough to our region that we're probably going to get a little intrusion of warmer air coming in at about 5,000 feet in elevation. So we'll start with some wet snowflakes, and then we'll transition over to, my guess, some sleet. And at the ground level, eventually we're going to warm things up. So even areas that get some sleet, we'll see a changeover to some plain old rain. Best chance for a half foot of snow or so will be in the mountains. So a pretty manageable storm. It's a coating to 2 inches for most of inland parts of Maine and New Hampshire. We'll look at that in a second here. Let's go through the timing. Tomorrow, mostly sunny to start. Good looking Tuesday. Clouds will start to increase during the afternoon. That's about 2 o'clock or so. Now, let's take you into the morning now. Notice some of that precip getting going probably before daybreak. We're talking about maybe 2 a.m. to about 5 a.m. for first flakes, first raindrops, and a rain snow line is sharpening up. This is one forecast model, and it's probably a little bit warm, at least at the coastline, but I think it's pretty spot on over the interior. You'll start with some snowfall over the interior, even at the coastline in the Portland area. We may get an hour or two of some snow changing to sleet, and then we'll transition over to some rain. Now, I would not be shocked to see this area right in here getting more sleet than depicted right there as we go through the late morning and midday hours. And that 46 and 51 you see there, that's probably a little too warm. Low 40s will be common, I think, at the coastline. Again, this is a forecast model, so it's going to be off somewhere, and that's probably where it is. Our best chance for maybe getting a half foot or so more is probably in this little circle right here. And that goes through the White Mountains of New Hampshire, higher elevations especially, and some of the ski resorts like Saddleback, let's see, up in Sugarloaf, these areas will get it. Maybe Wildcat, Cannon Mountain, some of these, but even these areas in the whites will probably transition to sleet pretty quickly. Back edge moves out for Wednesday night, and Thursday just looks mostly cloudy and a little bit windy. Here's our snowfall map. First one we had to put together this season. And again, a pretty manageable snow event, I think. Maybe a coating at the coast, but we're probably going to wash that coating away pretty quickly. So it's mostly rain for a large portion of the coastal plain here. Now, those of you from Sebago Lake to Lewiston to Augusta, Interior northern York County, it's probably maybe a coating to an inch of snow. There might be a few spots in the northern and western side of that contour that get 2 inches. I don't think this is even going to be a plowable snow event there. Maybe just enough to throw some salt down or something like that. But again, it affects your morning commute, and in some areas, it will affect your evening commute as well, mainly over the interior here. Now, our best chance for getting 2 to 4 inches will be that line that runs from basically Skowhegan into southern Somerset County, maybe the Farmington area. The Route 2 corridor going back through the Oxford Hills region here, maybe a little bit north of that area. And also back into Freiburg, the higher elevations especially. My guess is you're on the lower end of that 2 to 4, but our best chance for getting maybe a half foot in that 4 to 8 inch range is in the mountains. And a lot of this will be elevation driven. And really anywhere east and south of the mountains, you have a pretty good shot of mixing and changing to sleet. That's why snowfall total is going to be held down considerably there. But if I had to take a guess in our area where the jackpot's going to be, it's probably in this area right in there, from the higher elevations from the Rangeley Lakes area up to about Carabasset Valley. Might be a few spots in the White Mountains here, but even there, you think you're probably going to transition to sleet a little bit quicker than even I anticipate at this point. So you're probably in the lower end of that 4 to 8 in the valleys. You get over the higher elevations, you might be on the upper end of that. But again, a pretty manageable snow sleet event, just enough to cause some nuisance problems here going into your Wednesday. Tomorrow looks pretty good. I think we'll see some sun return. Sunday, increasing clouds, mostly rain for the coastline on Wednesday. Thursday looks mostly cloudy, a little windy here, and things stay pretty quiet Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But what the heck happened to those 60s and 70s, right? There's nothing like that. Not even close in the forecast. Nothing like we've been getting used to. If anything, the temperatures are going to be a solid 10 degrees colder than normal in this forecast, which is pretty bizarre. Mother Nature trying to equalize herself out here as far as the temperatures go. Inland areas, again, it's more of a wintry mix for your region on Wednesday. And yeah, there may be a few flurries Friday, but overall the cool temps win out. I think we'll see a lot of sun heading into the weekend, but there's nothing really warm about this forecast. We have a lot of cool temperatures in the 7-day forecast here. Let's check out some of your comments here. I've been blabbing on for a while. Hopefully I've answered a lot of your questions here. Gorham is in the coating to 2. Gorham, yeah, let's see, Hope Staples. It looks like we're probably looking at Gorham, maybe a coating of snow before a changeover. Not a big snow event there. Troy says, hello from Augusta. Hello, Troy. Yes, you're in the coating to 2 as well. That's on Wednesday. Is there a chance for school delays in the Lewis and Auburn area? That's a good question. I don't know about that. Let's see if it gets going around 5 a.m. and it's snowing. I think that's on the table, but we're pretty resilient in Maine. And my guess is kids are going to school. I'm just saying kids are going to school right now. That's what I think is going to happen. But it might be a few spots, especially up into central Maine, the hillier terrain, the Oxford Hills region. Yeah, there'll be some spots there that might get some delays or I don't know. We'll see what happens. And we have another day to forecast this one here. Chris says, Sanford. Yes, Sanford. Nice community. One of my favorites. We have, you're probably asking about the snowfall, Chris. My guess is you're probably getting a coating of snow. Coating and then a changeover. So sorry, not a big snow event for you. It's cold out, Carrie says. Yes, absolutely. It's dipping into the teens and 20s tonight. It's back to November, actually feeling like December. Well, Westbrook, Genny, if you do, Andrea, if you do get any snow, it's a quick changeover. You probably get maybe a coating of snow. That's my guess. And it's probably like 6 a.m. on Wednesday. Nicholas says, how am I doing today? I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well as well, Nicholas. How much will Auburn get, Cameron says. Well, let's see here. Auburn, my guess is you get a coating to an inch. Maybe in elevation a little bit, maybe a little bit more. But I have you guys in the coating to 2. All right, everybody's talking about the cold. Weather's been great for roofers. Oh, my goodness. I'm with you, Tommy. Yeah, I used to work for a roofing company years ago, and I used to beg for weekends like Saturday or warm temperatures in the 50s and 60s in the fall. I used to work for a contractor, and I remember I was working for him, and I was doing weather on the weekends, and I was working for a contractor on the weekdays back in 2005. I don't know if you guys remember January of 2005, but I remember we had a high temperature of 5 degrees, and I'm on a 8-inch plank doing some siding, and I have a nail gun in my hand, and it's so cold. I can barely feel my hands. Yeah, those of you who work outdoors, that's the toughest thing, right? You trying to manipulate your hands. So yeah, I hear for you, Tommy, when you're trying to do some roofing work, or really anyone that works outdoors, and you get cooler temperatures like this. Absolutely. It's a big deal. Carrie says, hello from Jay. Hello, Carrie. Hope you're doing well this evening. Let's see. Let's see what Hope says here. I see another comment. Just curious, what does the winter look like? More mixed precip types this year. I've seen mixed information. I'm hoping we don't get the icy stuff. Yeah, weak La Nina year. I'm not seeing a big snow year this year. I think there'll be a lot of mixed events, unfortunately. Sorry, I wish I had better news for you here. But with that said, I think it's a warmer than normal winter. There's nothing I'm really seeing that's saying big snow winter for us this year. With that said, also, though, a lot of the years that line up with this year, have a pretty good cool snap in January. One of those is 2009. Other one's 2018. Remember New Year's Day 2018? Yeah, I do too. It was probably about 10 to 20 degrees below zero at your house. It was close to 30 degrees below zero, 29.7 degrees below zero New Year's morning in my backyard that morning. And 2009, these were all weak La Nina years. So we did our whole winter forecast. Just check it out. It's on our website. Go to the weather portion of our page. You'll see the link for it right there. We put a lot of time into it, so I hope you find it useful. There's a lot of interesting things in there. I predicted the return of the Westbrook ice disc. That was my favorite prediction. Could have some fun with it. All right, let's see here. Cameron says it'll be good for the ski resorts open. Yeah, the ski resort's going to open. I bet by the end of the week, you're going to see reports from Sunday River. Just a guess. I haven't talked to anybody up there, but my guess by Friday, you're going to have reports of them opening. Yeah, they'll be open this weekend. You watch. Let's see. Chris Hudner. Hey, Chris, how are you? Tell Dad I say hi. Any chance it tracks farther east? Yeah, absolutely. If it tracks farther east, then that would hold on to colder air, Chris. That's probably what you're talking about. So yeah, I mean, we're a day and a half out. Even then, though, it's a pretty quick hitter. It doesn't have a ton of precipitation with it. So I can't imagine this will be a major storm either way. But it's November, so I guess anytime it snows in November, it's kind of a big deal. Just in case you're wondering, though, we average about 2.3 inches of snow in the month of November in Portland. So it happens every now and then. How much do you think the lower elevations in Rangeley will get? Ice? Yeah, you probably change over a little bit of sleet, I think, Amy, but you're probably my guess is you're on the lower end of the 4 to 8. My guess is 4. I'm going 4 at Rangeley Lake. Let's go back to that snowfall map. Let me get my mug out of the way. Is my mug in the way? I think it is. We'll knock that out of there. Oh, and we'll knock these. Sorry, Amy, I'm taking your comment down for a second. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking. So Rangeley area, yeah, lower elevations 4 to 8. That's my guess. You're in the 4. Higher elevations probably the 8. Hope that answers your question. Cameron says, what's the pink? Oh, the pink in that last graphic is mix being sleet or freezing rain. How many miles? Let's see. Rebecca says, how many miles away from the coast will it be considered snow? I live in a coastal community, but I'm 7 minutes from the coast. That's a tough one. Let's go through the timing of this. This might answer your question a little bit more. You'll probably start, if you live at the coast, it's a rain event. It's pretty much all rain for you. But notice some of that sleet and that pink color right there. You might get a little bit of that. This is a forecast model that I think is having a hard time holding on to cold air at least right at the immediate coast. We'll probably be in the low 40s at the coast, but this is a pretty good depiction at 6 a.m. I think it's snowing over the interior. It's raining right at the immediate coast. If you get any snow at the coastline, it changes over pretty quickly. I think this is a little bit of too warm for coastal zones. You see that there from Portland down to Portsmouth. You're probably about 5 degrees cooler than that. That's my guess. But I think it's pretty spot on for those of you up towards Augusta, Lewiston, Sebago Lake region. That's about lunchtime or so. And eventually this whole thing moves out, and that pink color is probably sleet. Even the mountains will change over to a brief period of sleet before it winds down. So probably not a major event even for your area. So I hope that answers your question, Rebecca. All right, I have it's 8 o'clock, and I've probably chatted enough about the storm system. Pretty manageable event. We're not in the 60s and 70s anymore. It's looking more like December. All right, folks, have a nice night and enjoy tomorrow. Nice sunny day, at least in the morning. Clouds will increase. And again, this manageable weather event moves in on Wednesday. For the morning commute, might be just enough for some slippery travel, mainly inland on Wednesday. All right, take care.